The writing is definitely on the wall. The next 6 months are going to make or break Battlefield 2042. The next steps that DICE takes for the game are going to decide whether this game gets a second chance like Battlefield 4 did, eventually becoming one of the most popular titles in recent memory for the entire franchise, or if 2042 gets the Anthem treatment and 2042 is killed off and EA just cuts their losses. The big problem with launching any game right before Christmas and the rest of the holidays is you're going to have a lot of people out of the office, and when you launch a game over the holidays, you've really got to hope that it is good to go. And as we saw with 2042, even though they got multiple patches out before the holidays, it just wasn't enough. There's enough bugs left over that make the gameplay day-to-day frustrating, let alone all of the missing features and design issues. Yesterday though, we finally got our first news of the post-holiday patch, our first patch for 2022, and it actually comes out today, is out today as you guys are listening to this. Now this patch is basically a pretty small one, just focusing on some core issues, and unfortunately is not touching some of the deeper design issues that I think this game has. Anybody who was hoping that DICE would just turn off the voice acting for the specialist, well, you're going to be disappointed. It's still just as cringy as ever. And, you know, one of these days I'm going to be out of angel quotes for a video, but today is not that day.
Look at this serious team, hey? Let's have fun.
Everyone's an angel.
Oh no, I heard it, Shane, I heard it.
You heard it?
He goes, wow, look at this serious team here. Let's have fun.
Singapore is one of the
Yep.
largest left in the world. It's a
Look at this serious team, hey?
It's not a huge patch. It's really just a first step. And while it fixes a few annoying issues, it even teases a new scoreboard for the game, one of the legacy features that people have been demanding, there's a surprising lack of news about what's next. We don't know when Season 1 for the Battle Pass actually starts. But before I cover a couple of what I think are the urgent issues not covered by this initial patch here in January, and we also covered that work in progress new scoreboard, let's look at what this patch actually does fix. First of all, the stun locking from certain high explosive weapons is going to be fixed. That's where, especially with the 30 cal weapons on the choppers and the bolt, will hit you as infantry, you'll be kind of stuck stuttering in place, getting stun locked and just murderized. That is supposed to be fixed. We're also going to see some fixes to Sundance's hitbox. There's going to be overall improvements to rubber banding, especially when running near friendlies, as well as improvements to the canister weapon pods on tanks, which are hilariously useless right now. And actually I'm quite surprised that DICE is not looking at some of the other tank accessory weapons, which are also hilariously underpowered. That secondary minigun just tickles aircraft. Moving on though, there's also a fix for Sniper Glint and SoFlame Glint, which was not visible from very far away. Anybody who's been flying an aircraft in this game and try to figure out where the SoFlam was lasering them from will know it's almost impossible to spot it all before this patch. There's going to be overall stability improvements, of course. Still no fixes though for being downed and stuck halfway into cover and being completely unrevivable, and that's a bug that I see basically every match that I play, so hopefully that'll make it in the next patch. They've also knocked out a nasty bug that had a desync for the secondary tank turrets when the main turret would rotate. That's why you saw videos with people with the tank machine guns just shooting and doing no damage whatsoever. For those of you that are enjoying Portal in 2042 and also care about XP, there's finally going to be some adjustments to Portal XP. It's going to be unlocked again, kind of. It seems like DICE is kind of struggling here to keep the XP farming servers down, but they're going to have now full XP for all featured experiences, the ones that have their own tile on the main menu that you can just click on and play. All of those officially approved Portal modes are now going to be full XP. As well, all of those Portal experiences that just have slight adjustments to the overall gameplay formula are still going to get what DICE is calling moderate XP. If custom rules are used, or tweaked AI, or tweaked damage / health, you're going to have still that restricted XP. Now again, I've said it before, I don't really care about earning XP in Portal. It doesn't bug me, I'm not trying to unlock the main game weapons while I'm playing the Portal experiences. But if DICE is going to keep pushing what feel like official modes like Rush via Portal, it is important that they fix this XP progression. There will also be a hard limit for custom experiences with 300 XP per minute capped across all custom modes whatsoever. That will help cut down on the XP farming, but I really hope that they just make it so that if you kill AI in Portal mode, you get no XP whatsoever for it. That would help quite a bit. And perhaps if you have unlocked health settings where if one team has a ton of health or damage and the other team has a very different ratio, maybe that would help trigger a limited XP experience while still letting people make some custom modes that still give XP to players. Kind of crazy though that it's taken a couple of months now for them to kind of work through how the player base has abused XP in Portal. It really got out of hand there with the farming servers for a while, and that's all you could see over there in Portal. Okay, so that's what's covered by this first patch, already live again today. Let's talk about a couple of things that are not addressed in this patch yet, which I think are really important. First of all, again, zero news on Season 1 start. The game is still just running weekly missions with no official word on Season 1 actually starting. Voice chat is still being worked on, but still, again, no actual dates or news. There's also no word whatsoever on cross-team chat or even just cross-team emotes. Any way to communicate with the enemy team that would just help make the game not feel like you're fighting bots. No word on that whatsoever. They still haven't fixed the jet ramming at spawn, which is hilarious because they had the same issue in Battlefield 5 where planes would spawn in before anybody else could and would be bombing your deployment as you're first spawning in. Also, if you're one of those players who is still ramming jets into all the infantry spawns at the start of a match in 2042, you are in fact a massive loser. Especially if you can't even do it well and get like 1 or 2 kills out of it. Just stop trying, that's terrible. There's still a lot of random UI glitches like changing your cursor settings, causing the cursor to get stuck in your screen, and there's still no options and no talk of any options for minimizing this HUD. Turning off ribbons, turning down opacity, just shrinking the HUD overall. The overall visibility in this game is hurt not only by the amount of clutter and sometimes the very dark lighting, but just the amount of HUD and user interface in your face. Visibility is just really hampered by all that HUD. Finally, speaking of overwhelming, let's look at this scoreboard, guys. This is quite possibly what's going to be going live in February. They said, I think, late February. This is going to get new versions and adjustments as the game goes on, but this could very well be what we get as the first version 1.0 of the new scoreboard. And again, why is this so over-engineered, guys? DICE seems to be really stuck on reinventing the wheel when it's not necessary for some things. Why are all the players on one giant scoreboard versus the traditional, separated out left and right for the teams? Why is there no option to scroll and see all of the players? Why are we stuck with just this random selection of the top 43 or so? Can we actually expand those 3 dots and see the rest of the players? Maybe. I don't know. I don't see a mouse cursor. Why do we have ribbons on this screen? And why can't we turn the ribbons off overall? I don't care about earning the same ribbon 20 times in a match. I've just always turned those off, and there's still no way to do that in this game. I definitely don't want to see it taking up space here on the scoreboard. Do we also need our player card here? I mean, they're really pushing that customization, I'm sure, for future season pass stuff, but just does not need to be on this screen. Let's go back and just look at what Battlefield 5's scoreboard looked like. This is one of my favorite scoreboards from recent games. For one thing, it shows what that player is actually doing. Are they support, medic, assault? Are they in a plane with 100 kills? I would actually watch for enemy pilots who are really good to respawn in a plane. It was a bit of a meta game going on. But also it's really useful for doing things like, hey, does my team have enough medics for breakthrough mode here? Oh, well, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Definitely not. I'm the only medic. Let's get some more medics going, and stuff like that. So seeing the class that the players are running is really useful. Seeing their rank is pretty helpful to see, am I running a team full of weekend warriors here, or are they, all running their shit buckets? And look at that, there's deaths on this screen right here too. DICE is really trying to avoid showing deaths on the 2042 scoreboard, and it's just ridiculous. Yes, some squad-based games don't show deaths on the scoreboards or don't show them easily, but a lot of them still do, and I think it's still useful for Battlefield, both for Not only seeing how a server is stacking up against your score, but spotting cheaters and glitchers, or just a really good pilot or tanker who your team needs to focus on because he hasn't died all round. A full kill-death ratio, I think, is a must-have for a Battlefield scoreboard. Additionally, ping is really important, especially if you're going to be running a portal experience. You can do some admin work and kick off high ping players, which in most recent Battlefield games, high ping players have had a really ridiculous advantage in a lot of cases, so you want to trim them off your server. So yeah, ping for all players also pretty important. Visibility as a whole, just with these colors and background semi-opaque boxes, it's just too much going on here. Give us the Battlefield 5 complete blur of the background. If we get shot while we're sitting in a bush looking at the scoreboard, so be it. Just make it readable. Don't make my eyes bleed. Alright guys, that's the patch. Hope you found this informative. I'm going to be trying it out for sure. I haven't written the game off yet. I don't know. It's just, I can't believe we're in this scenario again. I've been here through Battlefield 4's launch and the comeback story there that was too late for me, where a year later when DICE LA had fixed the game, I just didn't care anymore. And I'm worried that this game might end up being the same thing. But what do you guys think? Is there a chance of bringing this back? Let me know down in the comments. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.